Hey everyone!
Hello!
Brandon, where are we at and what are we doing in this video?
We're at home. We're doing an at-home vlog, everyone. And depending on what order you watch these in, for us it's been a few weeks since we've been back from our cruise on board the Wish. For you it might be the next day you're seeing this. I don't know. But we are finally doing what a lot of you have been asking for like crazy, as we promised, as you should be, because we've been wanting to do it. We are doing our full debrief, #debrief, on our Wish cruise.
Yeah, I think we're just going to highlight some of the things, maybe some additional thoughts now that we've had time to percolate a little bit after our cruise, things that were highlights, lowlights, things to know about if you're sailing on the Wish, and also answering a few of your questions.
Yeah, some of you had questions on YouTube, Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, everything. So all the things. But yeah, here we are, and you have our word for real. As you're watching this now, we will try to make this as short as possible because you know these things can last an hour or two. Good luck to us. Good luck.
Good luck to Brandon.
Yeah, you're going to see by this point, Sarah's already edited it and uploaded it, so we'll see what the running time is down here. But Sarah, take it away.
Yeah, I think maybe quickly recapping, if this is the first of our Disney Wish videos that you are watching, this is a recap of a 3-day cruise that we took at the end of February, early March 2025. So it's 3 days with stops in Nassau, Bahamas, and then also Castaway Cay.
Yep.
Disney's private island.
Yes, no Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point this time. Watch our last series for that, our cruise series for that. But yeah, so this was, like Sarah said, she just said it, 3-day cruise. And initially, are we going to start at the beginning, I guess?
Well, yeah, I was going to say maybe quickly, we haven't taken a 3-day cruise in a while.
It's been a long time.
Brandon, how do we feel about 3-day cruises right now?
Okay, point blank, 3-day cruises are better than no cruises, correct? Let's just get that out of the way right now. 3-day cruises are better than a no-day cruise or a 1 or a 2-day cruise. However, in saying that, we've cruised, quote, so much down. We know there's people that have cruised much more than us, but we have cruised enough, we believe, where 3 days feels...
Too short.
It's way too short. You barely feel like you're on the cruise ship, to a point. As always, you're happy to get home, but you feel like you never left home. It's the weirdest thing. I would say, well, we'll talk about this later, but yeah, 3-day cruises feel like very short cruises. We prefer, I think a nice solid is like 5 days.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I feel like 4 gives you at least one more day to kind of have some extra #chillaxing time in there. But yeah, I feel like this is the first time we've done a 3-day cruise in a couple of years.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a revisit for the short weekend cruises, which I think we would both say, do it if that's your option.
Absolutely.
But I think we both were like, maybe we need to keep looking for some longer cruises in the future.
What I was about to say, but I'll just say it now, was that if it's ever your first time cruising or you're watching this and you're like, should I go on a cruise? 3 days is what I started out with, what you started out with, so it made me fall in love with it. But I would still say if you can swing it with time and money and work and all that stuff, 4 days I would still recommend for a first-time cruiser if you can. I think 3 days really does feel quick, and we might talk more about that at the very end. But still, spoiler alert, we loved it overall.
Yeah.
We absolutely loved it, and we were so happy to be on board the Wish for 3 days.
Yes, 3 days was a great way to get back on the Wish. We have been wanting to do another Wish cruise for a long time, so this was the right time. I guess maybe we can talk some of the beginning, some of the pros and cons. So we did sail out of Terminal 10, which is
a fake terminal.
As Brandon called it, the Temu terminal.
Yeah, watch our video, our day 1. It is a Temu terminal, which it's a knockoff terminal.
Maybe things to know about whenever you are cruising out of Port Canaveral specifically is that because there are more ships, you may be sailing out of different terminals. So not necessarily the Disney-themed terminal that has the fun funnel with the mouse ears that you walk through.
The elevator that
we did not have that on this sailing.
Yeah, it's our first time cruising out of Port Canaveral. It's our first time.
We've done Miami before.
Yep, first time we have not cruised in Port Canaveral, like Sarah just said, out of the Disney terminal. It's the first time we never did it. Now, in saying that, yes, it's a Temu terminal. It's a real terminal. And just full disclosure, it's a real terminal, and I think Disney Cruise Line really does their best to still decorate it a little bit here and there.
Try to have some theming in there.
Try to have some theming. However, in saying that, there are a couple massive differences.
Yeah, the parking garage was kind of,
That's where I was gonna start.
I don't think we really talked a lot about it in our vlog series, but the parking garage was kind of chaos. There are 2 parking structures and then some kind of freestanding parking in the middle. It was a little chaotic about which garage we should go to, and also because it is a shared terminal with other cruise lines, it was very full the first day. We ended up having to go all the way to the roof.
Yeah, we maybe once, if maybe never. We've never had to park at the very
never.
top. I think you too, strongly dislike parking at the top of any parking garage. You know, sun beating down on your car, it's in the elements and all that stuff. But we did this time. And yeah, like Sarah said, when we got there, absolutely jammed because it wasn't just Disney there. When we left 3 days later,
It was dead.
it was dang near empty.
Yeah.
So your mileage may vary with that. But yeah, unlike if you cruise out of Disney's terminal, which they have a private parking
Right, it's
garage.
only Disney cruise ships that are going out of that one.
So this was very busy. So yeah, and also it seemed, like Sarah said, I think you just said it, a little confusing because there's kind of 2 of them there. Which one do we go to? And some people were clearly getting turned around. Still, we made it.
Yeah, so just something
made
to
it.
know about if you are driving to the port, whether it's in your own car or rental car, and you are planning to park there, do know that if you are in that specific terminal, it is going to be a little bit more chaotic. There is no bathrooms, by the way, down in those parking garage structures like there is in the Disney one, and some of the elevators were not functioning correctly.
And let's just say it, because a lot of guests and a couple people that work there, employees, it's a lot dirtier.
Yeah.
I don't know if we put footage.
It was not in the greatest shape.
Did we put footage in our video? I don't know. We took it maybe just for fun for us. There was some nasty stuff in that parking garage. Yeah. Just a heads up to possibly be prepared. You might go and it's sparkling. For us, it was, we'll just leave it at that. Some nasty stuff.
Yeah, so just something to know about if you are planning. So just keep an eye if you're on the Wish. They may be going out of different terminals. Some of the other ships could be going out of different terminals. So just something to know about.
Yep.
And I think the terminal itself, check-in was fine. Things were a breeze. We got onto the ship. It was a little bit of walking, but...
One thing different.
Please, what's that?
They did not separate us by Castaway Club level.
Oh, you're right.
Want to talk about that?
Oh, yeah. I think we have sailed on different... Even in Canada, when we were in Vancouver, they had the Platinum and Pearl Castaway Club. Was in a different line versus the other one. This one, it was all Castaway Club. So if you were Silver or Pearl, you were all in the same line.
First-time cruisers or Pearl class level cruisers. Same line. You're not, which is fine, by the way, you're not getting any kind of preferential treatment or quicker service.
That's true.
For having been on more cruises. So just be aware of that.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So it was all in one line. So just something to know about there. But overall, I think the boarding was fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
Embarkation was fine. We did do Embarkation Lunch, as you all saw at Mickey and Friends Festival of Foods, which we love. It's so good. I'm so sad we didn't.
I want to go back.
I know.
want to go back.
I'm sad we didn't get to eat there more
on
our cruise. We just didn't have enough time.
3 days.
So good. But I think that was also a takeaway on the sailing. Our sailing was completely full.
Yeah.
So it was jammed and it felt jammed. And embarkation day lunch, we typically do main dining for lunch. And this time we were like, we're going to go to Donald's Cantina, which we loved, but also we must have just hit the wrong time and it was crowded.
It was crowded. It was jammed. Again, I think we talked about it briefly in our video,
We did.
But did you want to quickly touch upon just in general, you talked to a lead server?
Yeah, I think always look for a head server. They're going to be wearing like a white polo shirt. You can always ask other crew members, hey, I need to talk to a head server, and they'll find them, which is what I ended up doing in this visit. Always do that. We had a few people reach out during our Instagram stories and sort of cruise recaps, saying that they had some challenges on the top deck getting food and being told they could or couldn't have things, and also having some challenges with the crew member saying that the food was going to be off the line, so it would be contaminated, not necessarily safe for special diet. So I would say always look for the person in the white polo and also always advocate for yourself. Even on this visit, the head server was like, I don't think you can eat at Donald's Cantina. And I was like, we have eaten at Donald's Cantina.
Yeah.
And then he went back and talked to the chef, and then we talked about making sure all the food was prepared in the back.
And everything was
so
good.
everything was good. But yeah, I've heard quite a few people say that they've had some challenges. So just look for that person with the white polo, or ask for that person to make sure that they get your food so you don't have any issues with cross-contamination.
Yep. And from this, really quickly, we are not in this video going to specifically talk about dishes and everything like that necessarily. So please go back and watch day 1 through 3. We go into detail on every.
Yeah, we're just going to hit the highlights.
Yeah, we're hitting the highlights in this video.
And maybe going into things we didn't talk as much about.
So in that, we love Donald's Cantina, or what's it called? Mickey and Friends?
It's Festival of Foods.
That was
Mickey and Friends Festival of Foods. But then Donald's Cantina is a specific one that's like the
Gotcha.
Chipotle.
Okay. We love it. We highly recommend it. It's delicious, and it's one of the best parts of the Wish class cruise
And
ships.
Brandon, you may not know this, but the Disney Dream just got a Donald's Cantina, and they just announced that the Disney Fantasy is going to get a Donald's Cantina on their ships.
The Dream and the Fantasy, or the Dream has one?
The Dream already got it, because it went into dry dock like 2 sailings after our Europe cruise.
It's time to go back on the Dream, everyone.
Well,
that is our quote home ship.
We are supposed to be going on the Dream next year. We'll see if that happens.
Yeah, we are supposed to be back on board the Dream next year in Europe, hopefully. So as of now, we have it scheduled. So Disney Dream, Donald's Cantina, we're coming for you next year.
I know. And also, we want to go back on the Disney Fantasy. So
Very
there's another
much
reason
so.
to go back on the Fantasy.
Yeah, we were. Anyway, watch our fantasy series.
Yeah, watch our Disney Fantasy series.
We need to go back.
redo.
We need to redo.
So that's one thing to know about, and we really do love that. And then maybe another thing we can talk about from the Wish is our stateroom. We ended up, a lot of people did ask us how we booked our sailing, what did we do, because we did decide to cruise fairly last minute.
Yeah.
We decided about 3 weeks before the cruise that we were going to go on this sailing. And so maybe just quickly talking a little bit about how we ended up deciding what to do.
Yeah, how did you figure it out?
Brandon's like, I don't know.
I don't know. Everyone.
Sarah just gives him options.
Bzzz, that's the brains right here. I'm not a smart man.
I just tell Brandon what the options are, and then I say, pick what you would like to do.
Yeah, pick what you want. Anyway, Sarah's going to take over here, but I want to spoiler for this now. We loved our room overall. We'll talk more about that. And we do have a room walkthrough. The link will be below. We did do a separate video for just a walkthrough of the room on our other channel, kind of our other channel. Anyway, links below.
Yeah, so I guess one thing we'll say is that, of course, Disney Cruise Line is pricey. And a lot of times we're booking cruises and we're booking it either the day things get announced, or the day they go on sale, like our Europe or Alaska, we book them on day 1 so that we're saving a little bit of money. We often do things like placeholders, which you saw if you watched our Wish series. We did a placeholder on this sailing just to kind of save some extra money. But another option too is getting what they call guaranteed room rates. So it's basically you don't know what your room assignment is going to be. You're going to pay a flat fee for that, and then you get assigned the room by Disney, kind of close to your sailing. So we ended up getting a guaranteed, what's known as a VGT, or a guaranteed veranda stateroom, and we got the cheapest one, which is the one with obstructions. Now, you are guaranteed the baseline of that style room, so you could get kind of like a navigator's veranda or something like that. But on our sailing, we ended up getting bumped up to a deluxe family veranda stateroom. So it was bigger, we had more space in the room, and that was really awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. That point blank, now that we've had that on board.
We've had it on 2 ships. We've done it on the Dream, I think, too.
Yes, now that, especially on the Wish, though, now that I've had it, I'm not saying we won't ever go back, but
they're nice rooms. They're big.
They're nice. They're big, and that that large chunk of extra space, which pretty much just includes a mirror and a chair. Disney, you need to include 2 chairs there, but if you're watching this, 2 chairs, please. But anyway, it adds so much to the room. It feels, more roomy.
Yeah, it just feels more spacious.
Yeah, and it really helps with, I don't know, just feeling good in the room. Feeling like you have a lot of room. And saying that, though, the Wish class ships, the Wish and the Treasure, the storage is still awful in the rooms. And everyone knows that. That's not us. I think it's a fact, everyone.
I miss the drawers. I don't like the open storage. It's not enough.
No,
even
it's not
for
enough.
us.
Yeah, everyone has said that about the Wish from day 1. It's been years now. The ship's, 2-3 years old. It is what it is. Just know that the storage, even for a 3-day cruise, is not the best. But we're not going to dwell on that because overall, the room was awesome.
Yeah, the room is lovely. I really like the extra space. And I would say if you are looking for cost savings,
everyone look.
you could have an adorable cat like our cat Wyatt here, who's helping us.
Yep.
But in addition, you could look for those guaranteed rates. And I think the only challenge is that it may be a little hard if you were a planner like me and you want to know what stateroom you're in.
Exactly, because Sarah's a big planner. What stateroom are we in? Where is it located on the ship? Elevators, staircases, everything.
We didn't find out what our room location was until like a week before, and even our like tags for our luggage didn't have a stateroom. It was just a generic placeholder.
Yeah, so we had to like hand fill out on our luggage tags, right? Cool. May have had a quick cut there. Our cat Wyatt, one of our two cats, Wyatt there, he loves to sit with the backyard window open. He came down, so for continuity purposes, there we go. I got up and opened it.
He's very happy now.
He's very happy now. So room was great. Storage is terrible. Room is awesome overall, though. Thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. And again, if you're looking for a cost savings, that could be an option. It works for us. It saved us. Quite frankly, we could have booked the same room for about $1,000 more if we wanted the room assignment when we booked it.
Yeah, and $1,000 is a lot.
Right. That was
that's a lot of money.
That's
a lot of money.
So that is just something that you can do. Disney does Florida resident rates. They also do these guaranteed rates. So look for those deals if you are thinking about price savings. And also, you can work with a Disney travel agent. They are usually very helpful at trying to find good deals.
So what's next?
Well, I guess, do you want to talk a little bit about the food situation on the Wish? Because that was a big reason we wanted to do the Wish. Not only because we'd only been on it once and we wanted to see the theme, but also the food. We wanted the food.
Yeah, the food, unlike the there's 5 other ships now because the Treasure, but the Treasure is a Wish class and different food. When we're talking about the food, we're comparing
6 ships now.
How many?
The Magic, the Wonder,
yeah, but there's 5 others besides
the
Wish, right? Right?
And the Adventure's
And the Adventure's coming, yes. Looks awesome.
And the Destiny.
And the Destiny. That looks awesome, too. In saying that, though, the Fantasy, the Dream, the Magic, and the Wonder, the food is still good. We still enjoy the food on board. We're going to eat the food on board probably again and again and again. In saying that, though, we're kind of tired of the food on board those ships. The Wish food, at least as of right now, is a step up in terms of a culinary experience, right?
I guess so. Yeah, it is. There's a lot of similarities across all of those original, like those 4 ships on their menus, and they haven't been updated in like dang near 20 years.
Yeah,
they need upgrades.
Yeah, there's some good food on there, but even the food that we both love on board those other ships, we still love them, but we're kind of getting tired of it.
We want some variety.
Yeah, and the Wish is offering that right now for us.
Yeah, 1923, I think, still reigns as probably the most solid menu. Yeah. Now, we do know some people who have sailed on the Treasure who have said that Treasure sort of second menu is more kind of like the Captain's Gala menu on some of the classic ships, so maybe not as strong as the first menu.
Okay.
But that first menu is great, and I really pleasantly love like Worlds of Marvel. I think that's a pleasant surprise on the food.
We've had great experiences at Worlds of Marvel. Worlds of Marvel, everyone. I'm sorry, and we've seen all the Marvel films. We are fans. But
they have allergy menus too,
yes.
Which is, I wish all the other ships
the Dream used to, correct?
The Dream used to when it was doing kind of the 3-4 night sailings like the Wish is now. I so wish that they would go back to having allergy menus and make them across the fleet.
Yeah. Because
the allergy menus give you so many more options. There's so much to choose from. And so many desserts. It's just a variety.
Disney Cruise Line, listen, everybody. Listen. We've talked to numerous cast members, chefs, all that stuff out there, guests like us. Everyone wants the allergy menus. Everyone. Employees want the allergy menu. But for some reason, on the Wish we do. But on
the Treasure.
And the Treasure, of course, yeah.
I will expect the Destiny will have it too.
Yeah, but on the 4 classic now ships, they took them. Or they either never had them or they took them.
Right.
Bring them back. It makes it easier and better.
And it gives more options, yeah.
Yep. So
I would like to see that. So the Wish, I think the food is a major upgrade in terms of the options. And it gave us some variety that we just haven't had as much of on the other ships that we've been sailing on for a while.
No, we overall loved it. And because we have also on the 4 other ships, the 4 classic ships, We've been to Palo there so much, which we love, by the way. Highest of high recommends for all Palos. We've been to Remy a few times and everything. But on this cruise, we got to finally do Palo Steakhouse, which is a different Palo. And of course, Enchanté, which is not, I guess, it is and it's not a Remy equivalent. It's not Remy, but it is that
more fine dining.
More fine dining where you, a button shirt, maybe a tie, whatever. But yeah, so again, that's also food related. So did we want to talk about that now?
Yeah, I think overall I was super impressed with, I think I still like Remy better. I think we need to go back and do Remy again so we can kind of compare. But I think overall I feel like Remy is a little bit more fancy. But loved Enchanté, loved the experience. So good. It was something we really enjoy. And you may not like that. You know, that's going to be, everybody has different preferences on dining. But the Palo Steakhouse, I love the theme. I thought the food was excellent. Awesome. And it was really nice.
Yeah, we can move on really quick. But loved Enchanté, loved Palo Steakhouse. Want to do them both on the Wish again and the Treasure, of course, and everything else coming up. But yeah, I do also want to get back on Remy again, on the Fantasy or the Dream. Again, we've done it on the Dream.
Yeah.
We missed it on the Fantasy.
We missed a lot on the
Fantasy. Again, watch those videos. But yeah, great dining on board the Disney Wish overall. Again, everyone's mileage may vary in what food you like or don't like. And it's the 4 classic ships, we don't dislike that food at all. We don't.
Yep.
We're just... like Sarah said, it's been 10, 15, 20 years since they've...
Y'all update the menus.
Updated the menus. And yeah, anyway, Wish, great food.
Yeah, maybe kind of keeping with the food and drink theme, do you want to talk a little bit about our thoughts on overall the adult dining, not adult dining, but the adult bars and lounges?
Oh, okay, everyone?
Oh no.
Don't thumbs down us right here. Don't thumbs down. We've talked about this a little bit, but... Wish and Treasure and probably the other Destiny coming out. They're all the same Wish class. So I need to say this, and then Sarah could probably just turn the camera towards me and let me talk for a while. But
I'm a very special time with Brandon.
Yeah, I'm gonna be very good right now. Everyone has said this. We have said this. People, other YouTubers, vloggers, blog posters, podcasters. This has been said. And I'm about to say it again, so I'm part of this. The Wish class design, it's a poor design for a cruise ship. It's a poor design. I can't tell you the amount of cast members of all levels on board the Wish that we've spoken with that also don't like it. Again, we will not mention names because we don't want anyone in trouble. But it is a poor design for a cruise ship, and I hope the next class of ship, whatever they have, combines some of the stuff we like on the Wish class with the Dream and the Fantasy class, whatever.
The Dream class.
The Dream class. In saying that, I think I speak for us, we dislike, there are the adult venues, the lounges.
And placements are not great.
It's in the Bayou, right? The Bayou Lounge, theming, top notch. Drinks, top notch.
Live music,
top notch.
Yeah.
It's in a hallway. It is a hallway. The lounge is a hallway, and there's no getting around saying that.
It becomes chaotic.
It becomes chaotic. It's annoying. Same thing. We love, or we didn't love it. Nightingales? Was it Nightingales?
Yeah, Nightingales.
Yeah, should be a great little piano bar with windows out
cozy.
To a hallway where, again, we love children, but children looking in on you and everything, people walking by and staring at you. Again, not blaming them. They're probably wondering, what is this thing we're passing by? So props to them. We probably would do the same. Hook's Barbary is one of the coolest places on any Disney cruise ship. Point blank, bar none, full stop, Hook's Barbary, one of the coolest places. Also right off a hallway where people, you pay a little bit for these drinks, right, in this experience, and people are looking in on you like you're the attraction.
Yeah, and I think
anyway, I'm sorry. I could go on, but I won't.
I think also because it's right by Worlds of Marvel, people come in and get a drink and then they're going to dinner.
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't have the vibe I think they were hoping it was going to have because of its placement and location and the fact that people are just like, oh, I'm going to get a drink and then go to dinner.
Yeah.
So I think there's that too. I think we both very much agree on the layout of the ship. I think it has grown on us. We like the Wish class ships better than I think we did the first time. But that was also because we're used to it now and we know how things are set up and what to expect. I definitely think the lack of a midship elevator is a huge loss, and I hope that they update that.
It's a mistake, yeah.
It makes all the other elevators so jammed
Yeah.
all the time, and some of the elevators don't go to all the floors, and that is very strange.
Yeah, whoever signed off on this design made a bad decision.
Yeah, that was not great, and I still lament the loss of the 4th floor deck being a fully wraparound promenade deck. It is not accessible for people who need that.
Yeah, ADA compliance, Disney doesn't care about that, I guess.
Yeah, that's really frustrating. And also, like, we love being able to walk around that space. And we were out there once and we were like, wow, we went barely anywhere.
Can't go
and we
anywhere.
Can't go any further.
You can't go anywhere.
Because we're going to have to go upstairs and around and down. And it doesn't have that kind of vibe that I like on some of the older ships. So I think that is definitely one thing to know about. Mm-hmm. Now, if you haven't sailed those other ships, you definitely would know. You might love that. Yep. But for us, I think we both still think that is not great. Yeah. And I think the adult lounges is the same thing. There's not any adult only dedicated, except for the rows, really not any space that sort of dedicated that's maybe a little bit more tucked away and a little bit cozier, like some of the other ships, which I prefer that vibe. I know other people might like the new style, and that's totally okay.
I mean, it's just everyone's entitled to their own opinion, trust us.
I like more of, and even like the Fantasy does have that walkthrough, and even La Piazza, there were more children in there, more family activities, but there's still spots that are tucked away for adults only. So I would love to kind of go back to that sort of style.
I would too, and Disney, if you're listening, everyone, full disclosure, I'm a shipwright. So if you need me to help design a ship, I can do so. I'm a nautical expert and everything. But yeah, there is some good stuff on board the Wish, of course. And really quick, the shops there, it's really weird. The shops you want to buy all your stuff in are this thin, and they're very
Still
long.
could never find toothbrushes.
And they're jammed. And yet the places, I'm assuming, unless you have a lot of that money, and if you do, that's awesome, and I wish we did. Right off the main entry are the big shop spaces for like the diamonds and Rolexes, and I can't believe these places rent these spaces and actually make money on cruises. Maybe they do. Do people actually go on a cruise to buy an expensive watch? If you do, please tell us down below, and can you buy us one? I'll take it. There's some nice stuff there, but yeah, it's weird because I think they probably make a ton more money overall with the Disney products. And it's higher up and in a skinny little meandering thing.
Same with guest services. Guest services is also in a weird spot.
Yeah.
And it just causes a lot of bottlenecking up in that space. That being said, there's just so much beautiful stuff on the ship. The art is incredible.
The murals and everything.
The murals are amazing.
Yeah. It's gorgeous.
There's a lot to love about the Wish, and I think we both really like a lot of the things. I like the smaller movie theaters. I think those are charming. I really like the themes of that. But yeah, overall the layout is still, I think we stand by, not our favorite.
Not our favorite. But really quick then, I'm glad Sarah brought that up. Let's focus, because we just did a lot of kind of negatives or critical stuff. Some of the positive stuff. I love how you can go to the bow of the ship.
Yeah.
That is awesome. You can actually go to the very front of the ship, look back at the ship and see the bridge and all that. That's amazing. We love it. The artwork on board is incredible. Heck, the artwork right outside of guest services. Guest services itself is a bad look. It's bad. But then you have this amazing art there, and you're just like, oh, this is so cool. There's that one little lounge or bar or lounge, whatever it is. It's again in a hallway, but it has the Pinocchio.
Oh,
artwork.
the Wishing Star
The
Cafe.
Wishing Star. Yeah, I mean it's a bad location for it, but man, the artwork there is so cool.
Yeah, and even Mercenary Market has great theming. I love all the little nooks and crannies in the corners. So there's a lot of that to love.
There really is.
Also, we haven't talked about it yet, but Rainforest Room.
Oh, we got some stuff. I got some stuff to say.
Brandon's in love with the Rainforest Room.
Yeah,
Is it expensive?
Yeah, I got 85% positive stuff to say about the Rainforest Room and 15% critiques that could be better. You go first, because I just went off and I'm tired now.
Overall, I think the Rainforest Room is a major upgrade from some of the other ships, although I still love the size of the Disney Dream and the way it has the hot tub sort of out and open to the ocean. That's really beautiful, and also that it's open later hours. You can go to the hot tubs in the evening time after dusk, which you cannot do on the one on the Wish because it's open. I like the extended outdoor area. The outdoor area was awesome. Brandon slept there for hours.
It was amazing.
I enjoyed being on those loungers. It was lovely. I love the Frigidarium.
That was
10
awesome.
out of 10 upgrade.
Yeah.
They had lovely teas in there. I really liked the additions of a lot of things in the Rainforest Room. What I did not like was the cost. The cost was crazy expensive.
The cost is unacceptable.
It's pretty bad, and I think if we were doing a 3-day cruise again, I would not buy it because we did not have enough time to use it the way that I think we would have liked to. If I was doing a longer sailing, I think I would be more inclined to invest in it.
We would talk about it, yeah.
I love that indoor-outdoor. I also didn't love because it wasn't clear that it was, half of it was basically completely shut off after a certain amount of time during the day. So that wasn't clear. I wish we would have known that. Maybe that's on us for not doing enough research. But it was a little odd that and I guess there's reasons why, and that's fine. But I was like, oh no, half of the space that you want to use is just not open.
Yeah.
But it was cozy and relaxing, and I really liked the Rainforest Room.
Yeah, I did too. Do we have a minute, everyone? Listen, everybody. Listen. I have some stuff to say. Sarah's dead on with everything she said. I love the Rainforest Room. If it was a little cheaper, I would say even on a 3-day cruise, we would do it again. If we took a longer cruise on a Wish class, we would have a conversation about it because it is expensive. So everything she said is dead on. What's it called? The Frigidarium was awesome.
Great upgrade.
The heat chairs are the same on the other ships. They're awesome. Heat loungers, whatever they are. The outdoor section, amazing.
Even the changing rooms are
changing rooms,
also
massive step up. But let's talk about where I hope, please Disney, if anyone in management at DCL is listening to this, or you can get this video to them safely, get it to them, because I have some advice. You need to combine what you have now for the Rainforest Room with what you have on the Fantasy and the Dream. If you can mishmash these, and I should have drawn a diagram because what I'm saying up here makes sense. So everybody listen. On the Fantasy and the Dream, everything is separate. If you want to use the showers, there's cold showers, warm showers, the musical showers, they do all that stuff. You walk in, they're to the left. It's private. You're not looking at people that are in the loungers, right? If you go to the sauna rooms, the 3 saunas, you quickly walk through that room, but the saunas are private. So if you're in a sauna, you're not looking at anything. When you're laying down on the loungers, yes, there's 2 hot tubs in front of you, but I'm telling you, you don't really look at them because you're leaning back and they're further in front outside on a deck. And if you're on those hot tubs, you don't see what's behind you. So you got the ocean in front of you, or a ship if you're in port or something like that. The Wish, and the Treasure too, by the way, is different where you're, especially in the main room inside, you're staring at each other.
Although you did say you thought it was going to be worse because you thought those curtains were going to make it worse, and you actually were like, it's not that bad.
It's not bad, except the fact that, do you remember the chairs that were hovering over the water?
But no one ever sits in those.
You want to know why no one sits in them?
Because people are staring.
Because everyone's staring at you. Remember we sat in for a little bit. They were cool. We were the only people in there. But me and Sarah were sitting in those chairs, which were awesome. There's a little water on the ground for your feet. It's so cool. Again, I love the Rainforest Room on board the Wish. However, it's very awkward, and we were lucky not to have this. But if we would have been in those chairs, chillaxing, #chillax, and other guests would have come in and used the chairs in front of us, the heat chairs, which they should. Everyone should use them. Literally, we're staring at them then, and they're staring at us. It's like in the round, right? Didn't like that. It needs to be fixed. And then I agree. The curtains that are up between the loungers,
they're not that bad.
They're not bad at all. Far better than I thought they were going to be.
You get more privacy, I think, actually.
You absolutely do. I agree. Except for a couple of them, and we saw that one guest who she clearly was like, what the heck? Because one of the loungers is literally next to a shower, because the showers that we talked about are also in that room.
Right.
Opened up to everyone. So if someone's getting in one of those showers, you're getting stared at, which is fine. But yeah, I still loved it. And really quickly, we did have a bunch of comments when we posted about it, about why is the outside section shut off at night.
Right.
So a few people said, again, no one had a definitive answer. Of course, no one is an officer on board one of the cruise ships. And maybe if someone's watching this, you can give a definitive answer. But I agree with some of their answers. Someone said there's no light out there. That's I've looked back at our video and our photos. There are lights out there, so if they need to turn lights on,
right,
there is lighting. But a few people said something that it made sense. But again, it shows possibly a poor design.
right.
Lights, okay, it's lit up out there at night, right? You're at sea or whatever.
And the bridge is above it.
The bridge is above it. So again, as a man of the sea, I can see you're on a bridge. Bridges are typically darker. If you're watching a movie in a submarine, they're all lit in red or green or something. And then you look out, right? And it's typically when you're on a bridge of a ship, it's darker. It's dark at sea. Your night vision, your eyes have to adjust. But then if it's lit up down there, there's a big bright sunlight down there. Or it's not literally sun, but it'd be lit up.
Right.
So
and also, like the dream and the fantasy, the Rainforest Room is on deck. It's adjacent or one. It's really close to the bridge, but
and
it's
behind it.
Behind it, right? So it's in a different layout and it's high up, so it's on like the 10th deck versus this one's down deck 5. Yeah, it's below.
Yeah. So overall, loved the Rainforest Room. I would recommend it.
It's a beautiful space.
It's a beautiful space. Changing rooms, huge upgrade. They have drying machines in there for your swim trunks, your bathing suits, or towels.
And those outdoor loungers, the best.
The best.
We could have been out there all day.
Yeah, I just really hope Disney on future class of ships can find a way to have this level of quality coupled with the layout or a more modern layout of the fantasy and the dream, where things are more private and you don't feel like people are staring at you all the time. But in saying that, still recommend it. We may not for a 3-day cruise in the future.
Yeah, I don't think
so. But
so.
a 5 or longer day cruise, we'd probably see if we can budget this in.
Yeah, I agree.
Very relaxing.
Very relaxing.
And we talked about that for almost 15 minutes. I apologize. We will move on.
Okay, well, very quickly, maybe we can kind of wrap up a couple more things and then overall thoughts, and then maybe we can answer a couple questions.
Okay, cool.
So maybe one thing we haven't talked about yet is Castaway Cay. So we did actually dock at Castaway Cay this time.
We made it after 3 attempts last time.
I'm so glad, although we didn't spend as much time on the island, there were some upgrades that we hadn't seen in the last 2 years since we have been at Castaway Cay. New recycling and trash containers out there, which was cool.
That was awesome.
Also, the drinks at the bars were in the little tins that we saw at Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point. 10 out of 10 upgrade on those. Your drinks stay very cold.
Very cold. Your drinks are not going to get warm. They're going to sweat in these nice metal tins.
Amazing.
Yeah, we've seen, again, I don't know. We've seen some videos where it seems like maybe some people have taken them home. I don't know if we're allowed to or not. We did not. If anyone knows, please tell us below. For real, because I don't know if I would have felt guilty about taking them, because we don't take stuff we're not supposed to. We're not the people that take a fork or something and then they...
No, don't steal. Don't take
steal.
The bird glasses.
But don't take stuff that's not yours. That's why we can
have nice things.
Yeah, on the other hand, though, in a weird way, it's the first time in years and years and years, or I actually talked to them, like, are we supposed to take these? Like, I
don't think we are.
I might take it back on board the ship and just pack it away and use it at home. It was high quality, and they had thousands of them, it looked like, but we did not. We turned them back in.
Yeah, A+.
A+. If we're allowed to take them, someone comment below. I don't think we are. I think Sarah's right. But also, there's this weird part of me that says they probably wouldn't care. But is it right? I don't know. It's a moral issue, everyone.
We're not taking those home.
We didn't take it. We don't have it, but we would have bought some.
No, those were great. And
they were great.
That was a nice upgrade. The food is still the same on the island. Fine, standard, nothing fancy. Those Disney burgers on the island just hit different. So always got to get them. But yeah, it was nice to see the island had a little bit of upgrades there. And I think we still need to go back to Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point for a comparison, but I still think Castaway Cay is going to have our heart in terms of theming. Yeah,
I do think if the average, which is us, the average Disney cruiser ever thinks Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point is, quote, better than Castaway Cay, it's going to be years from now. Like when it really builds up and becomes established. But yeah, Castaway Cay is an amazing place, and Disney, when did it go live? In the 90s, the early 2000s? You hit a home run with that, and your upgrades, again, might seem minimal, but recycling now.
Yeah,
cool.
Nice
We're very big on recycling. Believe it or not, we are.
They were the same ones that we saw at Lookout Cay.
Yeah, so very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, we weren't on the island long because we mainly took this cruise for the ship.
Yeah, we wanted to spend more time on the ship. So I think overall, we had a great time on the ship. I'm
Yeah.
glad we got to go back. There's a lot to love about the Wish, even though we do have a lot of critical thoughts on it. And I still think the Wish class, there are still a lot to be desired in some of the layouts. We have heard a lot of people say that the Treasure is kind of a plussed up version and has done a great job. So one day we're going to get on the Treasure, but I'm glad we got to go on the Wish. We had a great time. I wish we would have had a little bit longer time.
Yeah, I wish so too. Again, I wish so too.
I wish.
Oh,
we didn't
get
the wands.
Oh yeah, thank you.
They were only handing those out selectively to little kids.
Yeah,
which makes sense. I get it.
Oh, I get it too.
I get it.
We were little
but
kids.
But they were not
at
giving
Disney.
them out as widely as they did the first time we were on the Wish.
So I got two things to say about that. Disney, give them out to everyone. We want our wands. I want to be like Willow. Just remember Willow. Use the wand, Willow. Shanuna no na 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 na.
Still wands.
Yeah, we do. We do. Maybe we'll give one away when we hit 5,000 subscribers. But no, at least, please, Disney, always continue to give them out to the kids. Please, please, please. At minimum, give them to the children coming on board because it's awesome. But I know you can afford it, Disney, to give them to the adults and everyone that comes on board. It's a hunk of plastic.
Use more of the ship with entertainment like they are with the Disney Treasure with theming. You don't have to go as crazy and have a whole storyline, but maybe a little bit more. Also, very quickly, Victrophonics. Again, 10 out of 10.
Please watch our day one.
Amazing entertainment.
Best entertainment
Do
on
not
board.
miss that. It is well worth it. Add it to your schedule on day one when they're there. Incredible.
Yeah, and they were there twice on day one. Once in the bayou. No, once
in the lobby, the atrium,
lobby, which
the Grand Hall.
Yeah, if that's the only place you can see them there. But please go later in the evening when it's adults only in the Luna.
Yeah, I like
Luna.
Luna. I like that they have a family-friendly version and then an adults version.
Yeah, Sarah and I both, we absolutely love and adore and almost worship all the live things on board, all the Disney cruise ships.
Yeah, and the Wishers were great too at the bayou.
Yes, but the Victrophonics.
Incredible.
Please Disney, please keep them on board.
So
keep them coming, pay them more, whatever you need to do. Please, I hope they're there years from now.
So good.
We absolutely loved them. I wish they would have been every night. I think we would have gone every night. We would have gone every night had they been every night.
We also did not have enough time for trivia, and that made me sad.
Yeah, we got no trivia in, right?
No, we did the one game. We did kind of the game show, the name that before,
which was which
was fun.
If you told me about it, I think he told you too. We'd probably say we are not doing that. It was a lot of fun. It was a blast. So sometimes everyone go out of your comfort zone with stuff you think you may not like. Because we had a blast. We laughed out loud. Of course, we were drinking as well, so maybe that helped. But yeah, and then the Victrophonics were after, and top of the line. I'm glad you brought them up for this. Yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah. Anything else that we missed before we hit some questions?
No. Before we get to the questions, we have been talking. Please comment below if you want to see an updated comparison video amongst all the classes of ships, because we've been on them all now. The classes we've been on. Our last comparison between different Disney cruise ships was years ago?
Yeah.
4 years ago at this point. Because it takes time to do that, so if you'd like to see it, just comment below and we'll do one if you guys want one.
Yeah, if you want us to do that comparison video, talking about pros and cons of all the ships.
All the ships,
But then also, if you have other Disney Cruise Line topics that you want us to cover, we are always looking for ideas for different kinds of videos like that. And we know that a lot of you come up to us on cruise ships and say that we give you a lot of really good info to help you plan. So let us know what you would like to see so that we can help do some more videos.
Yeah, a lot of especially our at-home videos are based on comments from you guys with top 10 this or top 5 that or cruise ship comparison this or that. And we do them. Sometimes it takes a little bit for us to get to them, but we do have a list and we do get to stuff. In saying that, though, I think we're ready to move on to some questions from our loyal viewers.
Yeah, we just have a few. So the first one says, we sailed on the Wish with our then 4.5-year-old and 2.5-year-old and 6-month-old in December. It was our first time on Disney Cruise Line and only the second cruise ever for her husband and her.
Awesome.
They're dreaming of a kid-free cruise in a few years. What ship or itinerary should we go on for an adults-only Disney cruise? And they might have some brother and sister-in-law coming with them. And they're gluten-free and dairy-free, but they really want to go back on Disney Cruise Line because they were really well taken care of. So I guess maybe the quick, shortened answer is, which kind of Disney cruise ship would you do for adults only, or what itinerary and why?
I'll start with itinerary. And full disclosure, I have no clue what these questions are. We did not discuss this.
I did
before.
answer a few of these briefly from my opinion.
I would
on
say
YouTube.
Alaska and Europe for us seem to be much more adults on board than children, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, although I'm going to say, I guess let you finish, but then I'm going to give an idea of,
go ahead.
Depends on what it is.
It does depend on what it is, but if the local 3-4 day Bahama cruises typically have a lot of children on board.
Well, I think it depends. Like if you're doing some of the ones out of Fort Lauderdale, maybe you're going to get less people on those ships in general. Like
that's true.
The Magic has been doing that. The Dream also, and then the Fantasy is now down to 4 and 5 days out of Port Canaveral.
Oh.
I think some of those kind of little bit longer ones might appeal to adults more. And so is it that you're looking for like a hashtag chillaxing cruise?
Yeah.
If you're looking for a chillaxing cruise, I might stick to a local kind of Caribbean one where you can kind of find on an older ship places that are great for adults. I was going to say the Dream or the Fantasy or something. Right. Yeah. Pick out one of those where it is a little bit, yes, there are going to be kiddos on there, but maybe also pick a date where school's in session, so maybe it's a little bit more skewed towards adults. But
Sarah thought a lot deeper about this than I did, and her answer is more valid than
Europe and Alaska are incredible, and I would definitely do those with more adults-only kinds of experiences. But if you're just doing like a really fun, chillax kind of cruise, then I would probably do a local Caribbean one.
Local and the Dream or Fantasy. Any of the 4 older ships, but I think the Dream and Fantasy for more chillax adult sections that are more private are even better than the Magic and the Wonder in that regard. Magic and Wonder are incredible. We love them to death. But the Dream and the Fantasy have adult sections that every so often, a little one might pass through or something like that. But 99% of the time, it's adults. It's and Sarah's right. Maybe during the school year when no one's on spring break or summer break or winter break, stuff like that.
Don't go on the Wish.
Yeah, I would say point blank, the Wish.
I would not do the Wish or the Treasure.
I wouldn't do the Wish or the Treasure at all if you're looking for a chillax adult experience with your adult friends, your family, or something like that. I wouldn't recommend the Wish or Treasure. Period. For that.
One of the best cruises that we did was actually a 5-day.
Are you going to go with?
That went to Grand Cayman, and we loved that cruise, and it was definitely more adults on that sailing, and I think it was nice because we did have a lot more chillax time on that. It felt relaxing. It was a little bit longer, but not so long, but also...
We did a series on that too, so we'll link that below.
Nice island vibe, so I think kind of that 4 to 5 day on one of the older ships would be the way that I would go if you're doing that, and also price point, it's going to be a little bit more affordable than Alaska or Europe, which feel like they could be a little bit busier and a little bit more costly.
And then you have to get there and everything.
Right.
Unless you live in Alaska
right.
or Europe or something.
Maybe that's a better option.
Might be better.
If you're West Coast, I would say San Diego.
Yeah.
Like if you're based in the West Coast, maybe take one of those San Diego cruises.
We want to do that someday so bad.
Catalina Island.
Yeah, we will one day. We will.
So that could be an option too. Okay, so our next question says that they are so glad that they stumbled onto our channel. Yay.
Do we need to say these people's names or anything?
Well, their usernames, so I didn't want to do the whole...
Gotcha. Okay.
They're kind of long.
Gotcha.
And so the few questions, Palo Steakhouse on the Wish class ships or the Palo on the original 4 ships?
Oh, good question.
Besides the steaks, are the menus on the Palo Steakhouse the same for what you've experienced on the other ships? And also favorite Palo for ambiance? And then I'll leave the last part of their question for after.
I'll let you start that one.
Well, I think overall the menus are pretty similar. Palo Steakhouse has some plussed up steaks, so they have the Japanese A5 Wagyu that Brandon got.
That's why I wanted you to start, because that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah, it's got the plussed up menu, so there are a few things extra that you don't get on the other Palos, but by and large, for the most part, the Palo menus are the same. The brunch is exactly the same on all the ships, and the dinners are more or less the same. So I think it just depends on what you're looking for. If you want to be Brandon and get Japanese A5 Wagyu, then...
Which was my first time in my life.
You'll have to go on the Wish or the Treasure or the Destiny to get that. But overall, the menus are pretty much the same. I really liked the modern ambiance on the Wish class.
I did too.
I thought it was really nice. I'm going to be honest though, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Probably my favorite Palo is actually on the Magic and Wonder class because it is a wraparound
I agree.
all on the back of the ship. And I can confidently say from our experience in Alaska that wraparound in Alaska was the most incredible, stunning
beautiful.
views of all time.
Yep. Also, what I'm gonna talk about the others too, but the Magic and the Wonder ships, again, I agree. I think my favorite Palos, the Magic and the Wonder, the wraparound, the seating is great, and again, everyone's mileage may vary, but I know we've talked about this. I love how it's still an open kitchen you can see into. Again, when we were in Alaska, the head chef there, literally, like you'd see Gordon Ramsay do on one of his, he came and talked to us for dang near 10 minutes, took all our allergies, explained everything, went back there, announced our allergies. Yes, chef, you go here, you go there. I'm not saying it doesn't happen on any other ship, but you can see it on the Wonder and the Magic, and we saw it. It happened right in front of us. So yeah, my favorite Palo for ambiance and everything is the Wonder and Magic. And saying that though, let's compare the Wish, Palo Steakhouse, to the Dream and the Fantasy. I think on board the Wish felt a little more modern.
It's more modern for sure.
It doesn't, again, we love it everywhere.
Although I have a lot of member berries for the ones on the Dream especially. It kind of, that feels cozy to me because we've done it so much.
Especially, again, we have footage in a ton of our videos. We have been so lucky on the Dream when we go to Palo. A lot of the times you get this little thing with the behind us, the little screen behind us looking thing. It's one of the best seats at any restaurant.
Yeah, we've had some really cool booths.
We've had some cool booths, but we had a great booth this time too.
We did
on the Wish
and beautiful views.
So to answer that question, ultimately,
all of them,
but Palo Steakhouse on board the Wish, and again we're assuming the Treasure and everything else coming out. Maybe this much better than the Dream and the Fantasy, but if I had to have a choice, and if Star Trek could beam us in there right now, the Magic of the Wonder.
Yeah, I think those are kind of our favorite.
So, okay.
So the last part of their question, Brandon, what do we think about ever doing concierge?
Yes, absolutely we will. 100% we will.
We want to very badly.
We want to very badly.
Would you like to sponsor us?
Yeah, I'll say, usually I say that.
I know.
I'm going to hold on.
I pulled to Brandon.
Everyone, if any sponsors are out there, Sarah cannot. I can be bought. Does anyone want NordVPN? No, I'm kidding. We are not. I wish we were sponsored. Yeah, it's as of now. Again, everyone. You've earned your money. Spend it on what you want to spend your money on. It's your right. For us, for 14 cruises and 13 cruises, it has not been in the budget as of yet.
We've also, I think you would agree with this. We could have done concierge, but then it would only be like one cruise, whereas we've done a few cruises in a year. Yeah. So it's like, can we split it out to do multiple cruises versus one cruise? I think that's also been kind of our cost comparison of like, would you rather do 3 cruises or would you rather do 1? Yeah,
and I'd rather do 3. I'd rather do 2 cruises than 1 cruise with concierge. On the other hand, we have watched so many other people. We have friends. We have really good friends that sometimes they do concierge, sometimes they don't. Yep. And concierge is always, quote, better. And we have friends, really dear friends, that will only do concierge, and more power to them. We'll come with you one day, get us in your luggage. In saying that, though, it's weird because we know about concierge. We've talked to people about concierge. We've seen videos. We've read blog entries. We know about it. But even regular rooms, non-concierge on a Disney cruise ship, the service you get and everything is always amazing still. And concierge is a rather steep step up with pricing. In saying that, though, to answer the question, 100% you have our word. We will have a vlog series at some point when we are in concierge. When that will be, no idea. Someday. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell. But it will happen. 100% going to happen. Just hasn't happened yet. And it will one day. And actually what's going to happen one day, please like and subscribe, because we will get the Royal Walt Disney Suite on board one of these ships one day. When will that be?
A very long time away.
A very long time. It is my retirement goal. All that stuff. We won't go into all that, but it is beyond a bucket list thing for me. And Sarah's just accepted that at this point. That'll be somehow we're going to do it. I will make it work. She will make it work. That is probably 5 to 10 years away, but stand by, assuming we're still vlogging at that point, and I hope we are. I'll have a big gray beard. We're going to be all wrinkled and canes and walkers.
In 5 years?
You're right. That doesn't make any sense. We're not that old. We're both only 32.
21, excuse
21 you. 21. You're right. We shouldn't be that old in 5 or 10 years. Anyway, this is going off track.
So with that...
Well, you didn't answer. Concierge.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're going to do it someday. We want to. It's just cost comparison.
Yep.
I would rather spend it for like 3 cruises than for 1.
Yep, agreed. And
then maybe the last question people asked is, what is our next cruise?
Our next cruise, as of right now, and this could change, next cruise is 2025 as we film this, 2026, correct? Mm-hmm. And it will be another, different, and I'll let you talk about the itinerary, it will be another European cruise.
Disney Destiny.
Oh my gosh, everyone. I forgot. Okay, I jumped ahead one. We are doing the Destiny, and we've already booked it. It's not a plan of ours. We've already booked it.
For my birthday. In February.
Don't cut this out. I do know the love of my life's birthday.
Wow.
And saying that, though, yeah, as soon as she said it, I remember it.
It's going to be out of Fort Lauderdale.
My face is redder than it normally is.
Oh, boy.
But yeah.
That is our next cruise.
That is our next cruise. And then after that is Europe, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk. So talk about what are we doing in February on board the Destiny, which I am so excited for.
It's kind of the local Bahamian cruise. Okay. And I can't remember if it goes to Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. I'll double check it. And Castaway Cay, or if it does Nassau. I can't remember. It's just the Destiny, and it goes out of Fort Lauderdale.
Cannot wait. Destiny's going to be amazing.
And I think it's a 4-day cruise.
And Destiny is a Wish class, right?
Yep.
So same setup, but it should be completely different.
And it'll be heroes and villains.
Yes, and that's the one with, is it Spider-Man on the back of it? Or?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's going to have Spider-Man on the back of after the ship and everything. Anyway, I do remember that. I would be honest if I didn't. I do remember it. I'm just so excited to go back to Europe after what happened at our last European cruise, I guess, where the entire ship was sick on board that cruise. And then after that,
we will be, as of right now, we have plans to go on a Mediterranean cruise out of Barcelona. Then we'll go to Italy. So hopefully that one is going to happen.
Yeah, I cannot wait. And as of now, for 2025, when we upload this, as of this filming, we have nothing. We do have another vacation to Disneyland scheduled this year, but we do not have a cruise scheduled. Right. Now, could that change? Yeah.
I'm angling for another cruise. Will it happen? Are you? I don't know.
Oh, okay. And I would go on another 3-day cruise, everyone, because again, to circle back to the very beginning of this video, like and subscribe, but also circling back, even a 3-day cruise is better than a 0-day cruise. So anything to wrap up really quick. I loved this cruise overall. I know we had maybe 10 minutes there where we were being a little bit critical of things, but I think that's fair.
And also we're sharing experiences that we've done over the past, since 2018.
Decade, or when we started cruising.
Yeah, we started cruising in 2018. Okay. So.
But yeah, absolutely loved it. Overall, loved the Wish. Yeah, there's issues and concerns with it, but some awesome stuff. And was one thing we have not done, and I was specifically waiting till the end. Huge, gigantic Uber shout out to the cast members on board. Yeah,
the crew's amazing.
Wow.
They
incredible.
Were so lovely. We had just a really great crew on the sailing.
We really did. It all came together.
It was great because we recognized some people. People saw us, and that's always I think one of our favorite parts about sailing on DCL is you'll get to see people across different ships that move different places, and they're one of the reasons we love Disney Cruise Lines so much.
And everyone always says that about Disney, probably going back to 1955, right? Oh, we go to Disney for the employees, the cast members. I say yada yada like it's a bad thing. No. It's actually true. It's not hyperbole. It's not just paying lip service, right? It's actually true. And yes, all of us, everyone watching this video, we've dealt with bad cast members, and it does happen sometimes, but overall, pound for pound, Disney cast members are the best employees for most companies that you might be dealing with, but especially the Disney Cruise Line seems to be elevated even beyond the theme parks. And this cruise, especially on board the Wish, Sarah, they were incredible. They were incredible. Every single person we passed in the hallway, to our room attendant, to our servers, to the officers that we passed every so often, the characters and everything, just top of the line, best of the best. The cast and crew on this ship on this occasion, on these 3 days, hit a home run for us.
Yeah, amazing.
So thank you all if you ever stumble across this video.
You guys are all amazing.
Yep.
Incredible.
Absolutely.
So with that,
I guess that's it. Yeah.
I guess let us know if you have questions, things that we didn't talk about, things you want to share from your feedback and your experiences on DCL. But otherwise, let us know, and we'll come back with another video
we'll
soon.
come back with another video very soon. Again, if you would like to see a ship comparison, now that we've been on all of them, beyond them multiple times, not the treasure yet, please tell us, and we will do it soon. But in saying that, thank you to our patrons on Patreon. If you are a patron, you saw a lot of videos from the cruise ship, behind the scenes stuff and special videos for you guys. So get with us on Patreon. But if not, that's cool too. Potato holders, both links are below. But at a minimum, please just subscribe, leave a comment and everything. That's what really makes us keep going. Just hit subscribe. That's the #1 thing we ask of you. But in saying that, we'll see you in our next video.
Yes, so with that, we'll see you soon.
Bye. Ahoy!